Alright, so I'm going to do things a little different. I'm going to talk about what actually happened, and then I'm going to give my opinion so I can go off into any wild tangents at that point and not get lost halfway through going, wait, where was I again? So, what are we talking about? Magic the Gathering. The further and further I go down this rabbit hole, the more and more I dislike Magic the Gathering and Wizards of the Coast for some reason. Used to be a huge fan of Magic the Gathering. I've been playing for years upon years. But a lot of the things that they've been doing recently is quite honestly asinine. It's just, I don't know. It's just ridiculous. So, what happened? Well, you've got a store up in Long Island called Fire and Dice. The owner comes back from vacation, turns on his social media and all that good stuff, his cell phone and things, and gets bombarded with harassment and, other things like death threats and stuff like that. Seems like a normal day for anybody who's, in the limelight, but when you're not, it's a completely different thing when you suddenly get bombarded by that. After that, finding out that your license to hold sanctioned tournaments, pre-qualifiers, and the such have been yanked from you. So you try to find out why. Why was this done? Well, it's simple. Apparently, while he was away on vacation, somebody took a picture of a Kyrgyzstan flag. If you don't know what a Kyrgyzstan flag is, go to Know Your Meme, Google it, and it will tell you exactly what the history of it is, but it's essentially something that came up during the Great Meme War, during the presidential elections, and then got lumped in with Pepe, and, well, then again, both are kind of one and the same at that point, and it's considered a hate symbol by the Southern Poverty Law Center because they think everything is a hate symbol nowadays. You can't take two steps without them thinking that you are a hate symbol or something like that if they don't like you and you don't politically agree with them. But anyway, so that, and then there was a picture of a poster, and by poster I mean a printed piece of paper on like the Magic Gathering terms and services of, how players should act kind of thing, where somebody, scribbled through some things and turned it into a joke, sort of like a living meme on the wall, which I would assume, due to the rabbit hole I have dived into to find out, it's kind of speaks more truth to power than anything. But anyway, and we are talking about a game store, a card shop, where gamers usually frequent. And as us nerds are, we are usually pretty well versed in memes and meme culture as well. So, it's nothing new, nothing surprising going into this place. But those pictures were taken of those things, and then it was thrown onto the Reddit. The Magic the Gathering Reddit. A place that is so tolerant that you can be banned for saying something they don't like. Yeah, I know, that's an oxymoron because they're not tolerant. The thing is, grown really small the past few years. It's not as big as it may have once was, and of course if you say something that they don't like, you get the ban hammer. So it gets posted on there, which then whips them into a frenzy, because that's what happens on Reddit. You whip those people into a frenzy, go, oh my gosh, it's a Kyrgyzstani flag! Nazis! Which then of course takes it over to Twitter. I about said Tumblr. But anyway, takes it over to the Twitter and whips them into a frenzy, because that's where all your leftist, far leftist SJW types live, is on Twitter, because I swear they sit there and wait for you to say something they don't like so they can pounce as if they have nothing else to do all day but to sit on Twitter. I ain't got that kind of time. Anyway, so they get whipped into a frenzy, which then, of course, it gets into some people further up the chain in the Magic the Gathering Wizards of the Coast thing, and several of those people, of course, are the lefty SJW types, and they yank their license. Their reasoning? It's an unsafe environment for players. Why? Because there was a meme on the wall. That is an unsafe environment. So, that all happened. Now to give my opinion on the whole thing. Magic the Gathering is cuckoo. They're crazy. They're nuts. They're asinine. Whether it's, Wizards of the Coast, Magic the Gathering, whatever, they don't know what the heck is going on, apparently. And they're owned by Hasbro. So, you think maybe they would put a stop to it? Because, you've got these people essentially taking a stance politically. And I don't mind you taking a stance politically. But when you're running a company and you're a higher person into that company, it's a really bad idea to take a stance company-wide and start enforcing all these weird policies and doing things that would be like a company decision based off that political whatever agenda that you've got. So when you start banning players and yanking the license from people so they can't hold any pre-qualifiers or sanctions or, get the discounts that they normally would, because a lot of these card shops, if you have one floating around, for one, they're not a dime a dozen. It's not like you can just boycott Walmart and go over to the Target, or if you happen to still have a Kmart, go to there or something, or whatever place you have available that's like Walmart. You can't do that when it comes to these card shops. What you got is what you got, for the most part, or at least from where I come from. There are 3 card shops that I know of within an hour's distance of where I am. There's one in town, which has closed down and reopened in multiple locations. And there's never really been more than one shop at a time, even though they always tend to come back with different management, with the exception of a couple of times. And then there's 2 more. And they're outside my town, about 45 minutes away somewhere, in either direction. So, one of them losing their license because somebody is upset about a meme, of all things, is ludicrous. That, not only does that just, is like a slap in the face to the shop for no reason, it's also, turning your back on the players that frequent that shop. And this shop is apparently a pretty sizable shop. Usually when you find a shop, that's your shop. That you have no problem, it's like, dude, you got to come to my shop. It's amazing. Even though we know it's not your shop, if somebody wants to split hairs on that, it belongs to the owner. Yeah, we know that. But that's the shop that you go to. Those are the people you know. You know the owner. You know the other people who work there. I mean, heck, maybe, you yourself work there. Especially if you're in high school and they're looking for some part-time work. It's like a dream come true at that point for you as a nerd, working at that shop. But everybody will go to that shop because that's their shop. That's the shop that they go to and frequent, and that's where they go to for their tournaments and everything else. And of course, Blizzard helps these shops with their licenses. They are licensed to run sanctioned tournaments, pre-qualifiers, and other things. They get a discount on Magic the Gathering kind of merchandise, which helps them because they don't have to pay, the premium price for said item and then try to upsell it. They can purchase it at a cheaper rate, sell it at the price that, it would be at Walmart, and still make profit off of it. As well as, there was something else and I can't remember it. Anyway, point is, when you take these things away from the shop, especially over something as asinine as a dead meme, you're jeopardizing, that owner and his family. Not only that, you're orphaning, the players that frequent that shop. And this one, has, from what I've heard, has had up to like 200 players during some of these tournaments. That's like 200 people, especially if these guys are return customers that now no longer can go to their shop to play in the tournaments and support, the man that they know, the people they know and the people they like. Being Long Island, I don't know how many card shops they have floating around there, but if it was here, that would be devastating for this place. If you've got to travel 45 minutes just to get to the next sanctioned shop, there's a good chance you may not even play again. Between, school and everything else, work and life, I mean, just me alone, if it was me and I was actively playing Magic the Gathering like I used to, I wouldn't be able to anymore. I would have to drop it. And, of course, if you're going to turn your back on the shop owner and these players, those players are more than likely going to move on to something else, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or something. And, of course, I got my own gripes with Yu-Gi-Oh! And, that was the last thing I was actively playing in. And I like it still, but I still have a few gripes with it. But, these players may stop playing Magic. And looking at, everything that's been going on with Magic the Gathering, Magic has been losing a lot of where it used to be. It's no longer where it once was, if that makes any sense, where it used to be on top. And it still is pretty much on top, I guess, but, at the same time, they've been losing a lot year after year. People have stopped playing, especially with things like Hearthstone coming out and dominating the digital format. The few things that I've ever played that was Magic digital, I hate. I mean, they just sucked so much for games. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Maybe other people enjoyed it. But since I knew I wasn't playing regularly card-wise going to a shop, I, of course, wanted to download the digital stuff and play it there. And it didn't do it for me. And I feel that they're a good 5 or so years now behind the whole digital thing. And, to be honest, Magic may be on its way out the door, especially if they keep handling things like this. It's one thing to have a political leaning and to believe something. Like, for instance, I'm going to use Chick-fil-A as an example. We all know what the Chick-fil-A, owner, CEO believes. He's a Christian. He runs his company somewhat like that. He doesn't believe in gay marriage, all that good stuff, right? They don't work Sundays, day of rest. But at the same time, he doesn't let his belief infect his entire business. They may not work on Sundays, but he also doesn't actively go out of his way to not hire people who may be gay. They'll hire somebody who's gay regardless. Even though he doesn't believe that they should get married or anything like that, they're still going to hire you, and they're still going to serve you. But I bet you would definitely have a problem with it. Yeah, and I'm talking to the other side right now, this one. Like the whole Magic and the left-leaning side of them. But if they came out and actively discriminated against gay people, if we see you and we think you're gay, or we find out that you're gay, you're banned from Chick-fil-A. We will not serve you. We will not hire you. You would take a lot of umbrage with that. And that's exactly what it feels like that's going on with Magic the Gathering, except for it's a reverse. Instead of talking about gay people, we're talking about more right-leaning or conservative types who know what a meme is. Or even just, left-leaning people who have said the wrong dang thing. Like the guy who commented on the whole Total Biscuit thing and stuff and got, banned because his thought was the wrong thought over it. Didn't say anything bad. The tweet that was being responded to was a heck of a lot worse. But this guy gets banned from being, a spokesperson at Magic the Gathering because his thought is not the thought that they want him to have. And that sort of thing is what is going to lead to the ruin of Magic the Gathering. And it's already doing it. But that's about all I've got to say on this. Fire and Dice has a GoFundMe out there. If I can find it, I'm going to link it down in the description. Give them a few dollars so they can hopefully transition into something better than Magic the Gathering, since Magic the Gathering has completely turned their backs on them at this point for wrongthink, essentially. Having the wrong thing up. And let me know what you think down in the description below. Till then, see ya. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.